Hello everyone, it's me, Jesus. I hope you enjoy this video made by Peter, Dan, Noah, Alex, Darm, and Ahi. They are all truly the best your grade has to offer. Mrs. Graham, please give them a good grade.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people.
Yo, come on!
Yes.
What are you doing, Alex, bro?
Come on! Yes!
Oh my god!
Bro, this is like the 5th time I beat you.
Yo, it's because we're on Xbox One. It's so trash.
Nah, I'm better than you at this game and every other game. Was the Xbox One better than the PS4 anyway?
Nah.
Actually, it's not that simple.
Storm, come on. What are you talking about?
It's not that simple because the PS4 is better than the Xbox One in so many ways.
The PS4 has HDR, which stands for high dynamic range, and the Xbox One doesn't have that. HDR allows the PS4 for better gaming quality, which allows for better visual contact, and that's why if we had the HDR on Xbox One, I would have beat you every time, Alex.
Alright, what else does the PS4 have that the Xbox doesn't? You only said one thing.
Alright, whatever, but the PS4 is just way better than the Xbox One.
How's it better?
It's better because when the PS4 was released, it was only $399, but the Xbox One was $499, which is $100 more. And the PS4 had way more features than the Xbox One.
Well, maybe the Xbox One was more expensive because of the quality product compared to the PS4.
But that's just not true.
The Xbox One just can't be a quality product because it has so many less features than the PS4, and I'm pretty sure you didn't know this, but the Xbox One only has 500 gigs of internal storage and it's not expandable, which means you can't add another external hard drive.
Doesn't the PS4 have the same thing?
Yeah, the PS4 only has 500 gigs of extra internal storage, but it's not really needed because it has the expandable storage, which allows it to increase the internal size.
Why the Xbox One sell so many more than the PS4?
Well, that's just not true because the Xbox One only sold 34 million units, but the PS4 sold 65 million units, which is almost double.
Also, the customers that bought the Xbox One probably bought it because of Microsoft, which is a very well-known company and is very successful as well.
All the things you said are true. Why would anyone buy the Xbox One over the PS4?
Well, the PS4 doesn't beat the Xbox One in every category.
Really?
For example, the Xbox One controllers have way better battery life compared to the PS4 ones, which have to be charged every now and then, like oftenly.
Is that it?
The Xbox One has a controller called the Xbox One Elite controller, which allows for limitless customizations for the user, which gives them a better experience, but the PS4 does not offer this.
Well, that's the only two things the Xbox better at the PS4 at.
The Xbox One has 3 USB 3.0 jacks, but the PS4 only has 2 3.1 jacks, which allows the Xbox One to be customized more.
So, let me get this straight. The Xbox One has a better controller than the PS4.
No, not really, because the PS4 has rechargeable batteries in its controller, but the Xbox One needs AA batteries, or you have to get an accessory to make it a rechargeable controller, so it's pretty bad.
So wait, based on the things you just told me about the PS4 and the Xbox One, the PS4 is way better than the Xbox One.
Yeah, pretty much.
You should have told me this before I got my console. It seems I made a mistake buying the Xbox One over the PS4.
You want to watch some TV now?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, what? Good morning, America. I'm Ahi Jada reporting in from NBC. As you can see, today is Casual Friday here at the office. Today our program is opening up with the buzz surrounding 3D printing and pharmaceutical medication. The FDA, as of 2016, passed draft guidance on the technical considerations for additive manufacturing devices, or TCAMD as an acronym. This legislation has outlined and authorized early usages of 3D printing technology in the medical field. 3D printing medicines allows for unique designs, shapes, and spatial distributions of complex structures. Such technology will make it possible to give specific dosages of medicines unique to the patient. The number of drugs available overall are also set to grow exponentially as more clearances are passed. Some examples include drugs that can be absorbed in the intestines rather than the stomach, and medicines that could link the release of drugs that kill cancer cells within blood levels of a tumor marker. These recent developments have got people talking. Let's hear what they all have to say about the technology of the future. Hey guys, it's me, Justin Jotto here. We're gonna see what people have to say about 3D printing jugs. Hello, kind sir. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, not much. I just want to see what you have to say about 3D printing drugs. See. Well, that was a bad mistake you had there, bud. Are you okay?
Yeah. Why would we 3D print drugs?
Well, there's a lot of benefits that come to it. We can make a lot of different new compositions of drugs. We can find ways to like dissolve them differently, such as dissolving them in your intestines instead of your stomach.
I don't know. It seems like a kind of way to just get the government to control you even more than they already do now.
Sir, if you don't mind me asking, I would like to know, in what ways does the government control us?
By raising the prices on pharmaceutical products like they already do now. That would just be another thing that they could raise the prices on.
You know, sir, I'm not gonna lie, you make a good point. Is there anything else you have to add on the topic?
Not really. I'd like to play ping pong now.
Oh, okay. Well, can I join you?
No.
Alright, Darn, so what do you think about the advent of 3D printing for medicine?
For medicine,
For medicine.
it could be good. You never know. Like, what kind of medicine?
I don't know. Certain medicines, like the medicines that would be able to remove layers from your intestines that don't pass through your stomach. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah, we can't be doing that. That's bad.
Why?
Because it could burn a hole in the stomach.
Yeah, but then they're definitely going to be tests from the FDA to make sure that the medicine can do
So
that.
you're going to test humans? You're going to kill humans?
No, all tests will be ethical. We'll first test them out on animals.
On animals. Oh, so now you're killing animals too. You know, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't like that.
My name is Justin Jada. I would like to know what you think about the advent of 3D printing.
Blood.
Oh,
Anyone?
I will sue you back, heathen. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, the advent of 3D printing.
You know, I really think it could be a good thing. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of good possibilities come down. Cheaper medicine, good for pharmacies, good for the customer. Absolutely, but I think there should be more regulations in place.
Really? So what kind of problems would you foresee in the future that may need to be corrected with some additional regulations?
You know, you could get easier access with 3D printing to the whole chemistry of the system. You know, it absolutely could be horrifying to just have those medicines out there for the public.
Yeah. Well, the FDA has put sanctions down to regulate which pharmacies can give out medications based on your size, stature, and your body. So they'll have it all documented before they give it out to any stranger. Do you think that that's a good idea, or it needs to be?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely perfect. That's the kind of thing I was talking about. Yeah,
All right.
but it might go further in the future. I think that could be a good thing too.
Good. Hello, kind sir.
Oh, hey!
Hey, man. How do you feel about the advent of 3D printing medicine?
You say magnesium?
Medicine.
You mean like laxatives?
more contemporary medicine.
Can you define contemporary?
Medicine. Hey, look, there's someone over there. Hello, kind sir. How do you feel about the advent of 3D printing drugs?
My name is Peter Caldwell.
Well, that's nice, but how do you feel?
I think that's brilliant. I think 3D printing drugs would be a good idea. It'd probably kill the drug trafficking industry, funding terrorist organizations. It'd probably be a threat to the pharmaceutical industry. So not selling out would probably be a good idea.
Peter, I don't think it's that simple. See, a large majority of the argument against the usage stems from the large potential this now offers to the trafficking industry. Unsupervised mixtures have the potential to be extremely dangerous and have unintended stimulant and depressive effects. But the real challenge comes in the complex manner the medicines are made. Each drug would need to have its chemistry kept privately to keep people from counterfeiting them. The blueprint could also be encrypted to ensure that drugs are only produced according to a validated schematic, which drug administrators hope would slow the trafficking market down. This does not include the necessary legislation to pass the measures, which could take several years. As for pharmacies being hurt by 3D printing, patients will need to pick up additives from their local pharmacy at the prescription of a doctor or a therapist. Before someone can pick up the necessary additive elements to the medicine, prior knowledge regarding the person's measurements must be taken and recorded before a patient may order any of the drugs. So yes, there is a chance that the drug trafficking industry may be hurt a bit, but pharmacies will most definitely benefit from this new technology. A lot of consideration goes into producing and selling medicine to the consumer. When lives are at stake, it becomes a question of ethics. Precautions are a must, and such a feat as 3D printing is just not that simple.
Yo, I'm tired of watching the news. Can we watch something else?
Yeah, I got you.
Ever heard of a game called Tetris? Created in 1984 by Russian game designer Alexei Pajitnov, he named it after the Greek word tetra, meaning four, and his favorite sport, tennis. The game really took off when it came bundled with the original Game Boy in 1989. Ever since the game exploded in popularity, people have been enthralled with this little block game. Stacking and sorting the endless stream of blocks is an easy mechanic for new players to learn and is strangely hypnotic. Beyond all of this, though, Tetris appears to be a pretty unassuming game. I mean, what more could there possibly be to such a simple game? A lot. The mechanics of Tetris are actually incredibly interesting. The game features a pretty unique difficulty curve compared to a lot of games. For example, a normal game of, say, Super Mario Bros. Usually starts off pretty easy in the early levels to allow new players to learn and master the controls. Then in later levels, the game gets much harder. At some point on the curve, we hit a spike that is the transition point. This formula is similar for a lot of games of the time. In a normal game of Tetris, the game starts off very slow and easy to allow a new player time to learn the controls. As they get better, they start to clear more and more lines. Each line that is cleared will start to increase the speed of the game. The more lines you clear, and the better you become, the faster and more challenging it will be. The difficulty of this game acts much like a slope. It's proportional to a player's skill level. The higher you climb, the harder it gets. People who have mastered this game look like freaking wizards. Like, watching a professional Tetris competition is pretty wild. People who have mastered this game, it's crazy. The effect that Tetris has on players is also really interesting. There are a lot of complex choices the game will have you make over the course of the game. Clearing 4 rows at a time is the most efficient way of racking up points in a game of Tetris, but it is also the hardest to set up. And when the game starts speeding up and the tiles stack up too high, clearing 4 at a time isn't a worthwhile strategy. Some players may feel confident in their ability to do so, and some will back out and begin clearing lines individually. The point at which this shift occurs is influenced by many factors, including a player's own skill level, their past mistakes that still linger on the board, and even the speed of the game. Mistakes in Tetris are also a complex problem that players will have to approach. Mistakes will quickly build on top of each other and leave a bunch of junk on the screen. Approaching a problem like this requires looking ahead for possible combos that will allow the player to clear the board much faster. Something else pretty wild about Tetris is what it can do to your brain. The Tetris effect is an interesting occurrence that causes a person to pattern their thoughts, memories, and even dreams. It is a result of devoting a long time to playing Tetris, or any similar game for that matter. Imagine you're in a grocery store, and you see a bunch of cereal boxes on a shelf. Someone who has the Tetris effect might start thinking about ways to arrange these boxes to fit them together, similar to Tetris blocks. What causes this weird occurrence, you might ask? Scientists believe it is a unique form of memory related to procedural memory. By playing Tetris so frequently, your brain begins to develop neural networks that improve your ability to play because it thinks that this is a skill you will need. In 2009, the Biomed Central did a study on the Tetris effect and found that the gray matter in a group of people who had played Tetris for 30 minutes every day had thickened, while nothing had changed in a group that didn't. Playing Tetris is actually very healthy for your brain and promotes physical cognitive development. Well, I hope I managed to convince some of you that...
I already know how to play Tetris. Let's watch something else.
But I like this.
Welcome back to the fire, folks. Today in the world of philosophy, we'll be discussing nihilism, the philosophy of nothing. Derived from the Latin word nihil, meaning, well, nothing. Nihilism is most often associated with the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He believed that there was nothing of objective value or structure in the world, and that it all came from the society. Well, enough rambling on about nihilism. Let's start getting philosophical. How about we bring a guest up here? You, what's your name?
Oh my goodness, me?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What is that?
Okay. I'm Karen. I've been your biggest fan since the 2015 segment on absurdism.
Well, it's wonderful to hear you've been with us so long, Karen. So what is your experience with nihilism?
Okay. So my son had been starting to dress in all black and be saying that everything is meaningless. I'm worried he's becoming a nihilist and that he's headed toward a dark path.
Dark path? While his clothes might have gone down a few shades, that does not suggest he's going to a bad place. Let me refresh you and the audience on what nihilism is. Nihilism is the belief that states all values are worthless, so nothing can ever be learned or communicated.
But yeah, my son is saying that everything is meaningless.
You missed my point, Karen. Try and pay attention now. While him saying life is meaningless might make him a nihilist, probably not. That certainly is not a bad thing. In a nihilistic view, there are no inherently good or bad things.
Oh,
It's alright, Karen. This stuff isn't easy for people like you.
thanks, Philip.
No problem. Now, this is all assuming your boy is actually a nihilist, which he almost certainly isn't.
What? But he said that thing one time.
Yeah, well, he said he loves to wear black, right?
Yeah?
He wears black all the time because he likes it. It's his favorite, and that's certainly a value. If he was a nihilist, there would be no favorite color because none of them would be objectively better.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
But having no values at all can make being a true nihilist very difficult. But there are other kinds of...
Like what?
Of nihilism, like the most common form, existential nihilism. What most people think as the life has no meaning.
Well, my son is definitely one of those then.
While I'd say you fall into the group of most people, there are a lot more things to consider in terms of whether your son is an existential nihilist. For example, your son might be going through some tough times, feeling something negative. This can make him feel as though the universe does not care about him, and nothing matters. But he must believe something actually matters to feel this way, to feel as though he's been slighted in some way. He could actually find comfort in the fact that there is no meaning, because it means he can do anything he wants. There's complete freedom. Nothing matters. And this is a better way to think about nihilism, a more positive way.
Huh. So I guess I was wrong about nihilism. It really is a good thing.
Well, not so hasty, Karen. Oftentimes, people are driven to nihilism because of their rejection of other philosophical ideas, which can be far more comforting than the idea of nihilism. Concluding that the universe does not care about you can be difficult for some. Consider this. You live in a world with 7 billion other people, each of whom is attempting to accomplish something that they believe is interesting or important. What makes your one of the 7 billion goals that is actually so? In fact, 108 billion people have lived on this world over the course of Earth's existence. How many of them do you actually remember? Karen, it is difficult and uncomfortable to accept that in 100 years you probably will not be remembered by the people of Earth, let alone that you will make an objectively important impact on this universe of 100 billion galaxies with over a sextillion stars and a gazillion planets. It's hard to accept that you are not important. None of us are.
Oh.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. I hope to see you next time by the fire.
You want to go get some food?
Yeah, let's go.
Yo, where do you want to go?
Oh, let's just listen to some music first.
I can become a DJ.
Actually, it's not that easy. Matching beats, scratching, looping, and punch phrasing are the skills of a DJ. It can take a bit to master if you want to become a successful DJ.
Dan?
Before we start, we're talking about DJs, not producers. Producers make their own music, while DJs just play music that may or not be made by them. DJs can be producers, but it's not necessary.
Oh, okay. Glad that's cleared up. But all DJs have to do is press play and jump around.
Being a DJ requires you to do a lot more than just play songs. Learning to structure a set, mix on the fly, and get a crowd moving are all things you have to learn. DJs also need to invest some money in equipment like turntables, a 2-channel mixer, headphones, speaker, and mixing software. One of the most important things of DJing is transitioning between songs and matching beats so that the beats remain constant, letting people dancing interrupted. The BPM, or beats per minute of a song, will determine how smoothly and easily you can mix it with another song. DJs can calculate BPM by counting the beats using a stopwatch, but that's pretty tedious. Some mixers will have a BPM counter on board, while most DJ software will calculate the BPM of a track for you, although this may not be accurate 100% of the time, so it's good to have some sense of BPMs yourself. This method takes a lot of practice to master. Let's take a look at a BuzzFeed video where a worker at BuzzFeed learns the basics of DJing.
After that confidence boost from Dada Life, I was ready to start training, so I met with my DJ coach, Say My Name, at his house.
You have track A and track B. Your mixer allows you to beat match or blend the two. If you're not ready and you just throw a track on, it's gonna sound like a train wreck, which is just basically...
This sounds about what mine's probably gonna sound like. If that happens to me on stage, will you still admit that you coached me, or will you probably just bow your head in shame?
I'll just look away.
At what point do I get to Purple Nurple, the little... Oh wait, let me play with that a little bit.
Yeah, you're getting it. On this CDJ, we have Kick Out the Epic, which is originally at 128 beats per minute. And we have a hard trap song that's originally at 150 beats per minute. So you can hear this track coming in. You hear that? That's this track. Now ready to kill this track. And now I can bring the BPM of this track back up to 150 beats per minute. Now I'm warning you, this is a pretty hard, it's hard trap, it's intense. It's a sound I'm working on, it's a sound I've made. And it's crazy.
All right.
Wow, wasn't that insightful?
Yeah, not bad.
There's another thing that a DJ needs to be really good at to be successful.
What is it exercise?
Not really.
Ooh, I know. Is it playing good music?
Well, yeah, but that's kind of implied.
Oh, is it a balanced diet?
No! It's learning to feel the crowd.
Ah. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, sure you were. While playing a set, DJs will look for approval by observing the audience. Are they dancing? Bobbing their head? If so, then they will continue to keep up the vibes they are putting out. If they're standing still or look angry, DJs will respond by changing the song or doing something entertaining on stage. Once again, reading the crowd and knowing what to play and when to play it are tasks that take time to learn. So before you criticize a DJ, know that it's not that easy.
Huh, I think I learned something today, Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. I'll just go back here now, guys.
Is your truck gas or diesel?
Gas.
Ah, you should have gotten a diesel. Old diesels are so much better than new diesels.
Why do you say that?
Because they're simpler and last longer.
Actually, it's not that simple. A lot of things have changed. For instance, modern diesel fuels have a lot less sulfur.
Why does that matter?
Sulfur's a lubricant. Older diesels partially relied on this for some lubrication besides motor oil. Modern emission laws have drastically reduced the amount of sulfur in fuel because it is hard to breathe and is the largest contributor to acid rain.
But old diesels still last even through modern low sulfur fuels. That's why they're better. Yeah, modern diesels make more power, but they are always breaking down. You can't use power if the engine isn't working.
Funny you say that.
Why is it funny?
Why is what funny?
You know when I said new diesels break down a lot?
I don't remember talking about that.
What? Just comment on what I said.
Okay.
You gonna talk?
Oh yeah. Anyways, new diesel engines aren't the problem. The thing that breaks on all of them is the emissions equipment. It always is what breaks.
Why don't they get rid of that?
Because it's required by law. New regulations severely restricted the dangerous chemicals found on diesel exhaust. So don't blame the companies or the engine. They're just following the law.
Ah, dang.
But other companies still sell emission delete kits.
Yeah, but old diesels don't have it to begin with and are easier to work on.
I'll give you that one. Most modern diesel trucks' engine bays are so packed you can't reach your hands in there. Because of that, the cabs are designed to come off easily with a few bolts and clips and stuff. It's pretty genius actually, unless you don't have a car lift.
Wow, that sounds pretty easy.
No, it's not.
I know, Alex, I was just joking.
Okay, well, that's not something to joke about. It can be very offensive to some people.
Who?
Wow, you really don't care about their feelings at all.
Sorry.
Thank you. You should be. Can't do that in old diesels. Those suckers are slow.
What do you mean?
New diesels can go 0 to 90 in like 16.6 seconds. That's pretty impressive for a vehicle that weighs 8,300 pounds. Can't do that in old diesels though.
True, I'll give you that, but old diesels just have character.
Yeah, the way they chug loudly with raw feeling power. It's too good. You feel like you're part of the machine.
Yeah, but sometimes it's tiring to get rattled around. That's where the new diesels can be appreciated. They're pretty quiet and smooth.
Yep.
Yo, Alex, weren't we supposed to get food or something like that?
Start. I don't feel so good.
Then why did the PS4 sell? No, that's wrong.
See. As you can see, today is Casual Friday here at the Awards. Today our
I'm sorry. It's the sound of AIDS. What is he even doing out there?
Wait, how do you feel about the advent of drugs?
If all these things you said are true, why would anyone buy the Xbox One over the PS4?
Well, the PS4.
Doesn't the PS4 have the same thing? Oh no, hold on. I looked at you.
I'm like, what? Peter. I don't think it's that simple. It's not in here, but I'll lie.
Oh, I was already recording.
Daniel, get out. What are you doing?
Still recording.
Stop. Stop recording, obviously.
Is your truck gas or diesel? Oh my god.
Gas or diesel.
But old diesel still last even. Oh, still. Shit.
What people's opinions are, and hopefully we'll get a nice spectrum or. Why look, there's someone over there. Hello there, sir.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I think that's brilliant. Printing your.
I knew he was gonna. Sorry.
Wait, are we doing it or not?
There is more to consider whether your son is a existent
Sir, can you stop for a question too?
I'm Peter Culver. What's up?
All right. Well, how do you feel about the advent of drug? Oh, I was thinking.
Nope, that's another wrong one right there.
You should have gotten a deep. Oh shit.
Over the PS4.
What? Yeah, no, redo this.
Yeah, but sometimes it gets tired to get red. Oh no.
Yes. A lot. This product is kind of bullshit.
What? Yeah.
Now, there's another thing that a DJ needs to be really good. What?
Needs to be really good at to be
Fool,
successful.
What are you saying? Another thing that I'm dumb. Okay, anyway, just restart.
Go.
Actually, it's not that easy. I forgot it. I'm sorry. It's right there in my face. Sorry. Tasks that take. Idiots. Okay, let's do this thing. Amazing are the skills of a DJ and can take a bit to master if you want to be a successful DJ. That was kind of bad. I'll do it again. No problem. I'll just go back here now, guys. Oh, like I said, guys. Say it again.
Is that it?